Thanks for staying with us. As I said, we have Bimbo Akintola with us. She'll be speaking about her work, career, Nollywood industry, life off the set, and who you are as an internationally recognized and acclaimed actor. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I've had so much fun with the former topic.
Yes,
it was eye-opening.
Yes. But tell us what's going on with you? How have you been? What are you working on?
Oh, so many things. I have a Netflix original on now, Far From Home.
Ah, yes. We've all seen that.
We've seen it.
Thank
Nice.
It's a topic that's also close to my heart because we're talking about the fact that our teenagers are using drugs.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, it's happening in Nigeria, and we need to focus more on our children.
Absolutely.
You know, we understand that most of homes have two incomes and you're rushing here, or guy is going this way, madam is going this way, but the kids, somebody has to keep an eye on them.
Absolutely.
So that's what Far From Home is about, and also how the richer homes give more leeway to their children in terms of how much money they have to spend. So those are part of the things that we're looking at. And also relationships between mothers and daughters.
Yes.
How are you, forming the next generation of women? What are you putting in them? How are you making them strong?
We need more of these kind of movies. Far From Home is good. We need more of these kind of movies. So are you going into production of your own very soon?
Yes, I have a movie coming out, though it's not Yes, I'm very passionate about women and the girl child. Yeah. People say I'm biased, but I think that what I am is concerned that our women get the same opportunities that our men do. And I'm not saying women are good or that they're the end. I'm just saying that they need to get the same opportunities. If you go to other places that's not Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and you see some of the lives that these women are living, instant depression. I do a lot of work with Oxfam. I've been to the Northeast. It is deplorable. So a lot of things I do, whether it be film or whatever, has to do with women and children.
Interesting.
So I know that you are in Ijakumo.
Yes.
And
Bimbo,
we had her last week.
Yes.
And you've been you've been on stage, you've been in cinema, you've been on Netflix. And my question is there something in this industry that you feel you haven't done? That like, this is the next frontier. This is where I want to go to.
There's always that feeling that you can do much more and you can change much more. Because the truth of the matter is, for me, film is not just about entertainment. It's about being able to change lives, affect lives, tell stories of people so that they can see that, okay, you're not alone in whatever situation you are. So I feel like there's so much more that I still have to do. I've done a lot of work. I've worked with Ifoma Fafunwa, and it's all about the women. We took our stories, different stories, a collaboration of stories of Nigerian women. We've taken it to America. We work with the New York Repertory Theatre. We performed 50-something performances at Harvard. We took it to the Netherlands. We performed at the Frascati Theatre. They've taken it to so many other places, because unfortunately, after 5 years, I had to stop. But the women are still going. And it's the same stories that we're telling about our girls. Women are the most vulnerable in the society. Women are always the most, with less strength than men. And because of that, we don't even realize how much trauma we go through. In terms of, even as teenagers, you're going somewhere, you're thinking, oh, I've got to be careful because I don't know who's there and what they can do to me. So we basically do live in fear without realizing it. We're already victims just because we're women.
Have you ever, because of the roles that you've played, to, promote women's rights, to promote the, change the narrative of women locally amongst our people culturally, have you ever had a backlash from any, have you had an experience of a backlash from any fan or, from public that you'd like to share?
No, not really. I think most of the things I do, people just say, oh, they talk about my acting. And then I have a lot of women, especially with Hairword and other things that I've done. Widows the Morning After, which was by Jimmy Odumosu.
Yes, I saw that.
That for me was, I remember when it first came out, this woman walked up to me and she was in tears. And she's like, that's my story. That's what happened to me. She wasn't a cardiologist, but her husband died, and all of a sudden, the whole family said she had something to do with it. So they did the shaving of the head, they did the drinking of the bath water. They bathe a corpse and give you the water to drink.
Really? I mean, I hear the stories and I think
it still happens. It still happens. Women are still in situations like this everywhere in
Because we live in
Nigeria.
Lagos, we always think, oh, it doesn't happen. So people don't, the phone calls we're getting from people who live in Lagos feel like,
relate.
oh, it doesn't happen. No, but they are.
Because we can't relate. We don't.
Yeah, this woman was in tears. She was like, I mean, she was educated.
Wow.
She was educated. But because of her children, she did all the rights that they said she should do, just to prove that these kids will not suffer because of my actions. And she was telling me she was in tears. I was in tears. Because when I read the story, I was like, this is far out.
Sadly, women are behind it.
You know,
You read that, something like that for the first time and you're thinking, oh, far out, this is crazy. Is this
When you
true?
now see the
And you think it's 20 years before.
Yeah.
And then you now have all sorts of people walking up to you and saying, this is my life.
wow. See, I'm just in awe of you because I have been a huge fan of yours forever.
We all
I was
have.
telling you when you came earlier that long time ago when I was in university, someone put a call through to you so I could speak to you, and I held that for a long time. I would tell everybody that I've spoken to Bimbo Akintola, and here you are, sitting right beside me today. Why I'm a huge fan is just I was so moved by your acting skills. Watching you on TV is watching the character. You would never see you in any, I mean, I can watch different movies and I'm seeing different people. I watched Far Away from Home.
Far From Home.
Far From Home. And, you know, you said you were in it. For a minute, I was like, was she? But then I remember you were, but because you were a whole different person. What helped you to be this iconic actress that you are, that
Becoming
give your
different people.
all and just do it so well and so effortlessly too?
The trick, if you can call it that, is not a trick really, is that the script gives you all the information about the character, who they are. You start from a certain point in the script. Of course, there's no, but you get the backstory from reading. The way the person talks tells you if they're educated or not. The way they relate with others shows you if they have a generous spirit or not. You know, all those things are there in the script. And once I put that together, what I now do is I go back to when they were children and I build a backstory. So I know the first time, what age she started a period, I know. Her first crush, I know.
You do that all in.
I do all of that because those layers are what makes us. We are the total sum of our experiences. Those are the layers that made us. So I put all those layers. If I see that she's in a relationship in that, and she's a bit stiff in a relationship, she must have had heartbreaks in the past and doesn't want to be vulnerable.
Who taught you that?
She
Or-
goes
You
to
are
school now.
University of Ibadan.
So, you know, because some with these skills, some people will say some people are natural. It's something you were born with. So is it nurture over nature in this case, or a combination of both?
I think also one of the things I do is when I get a story and I read it, if I don't empathize with the female character I'm playing, then there's no need. So I have to understand you and empathize with what you're saying to the world.
Where is Nollywood heading? You know, in the sense that,
Where's Nigeria heading?
well, you know, the entertainment industry has really left Nigeria. They've gone global.
they've gone
So
ahead,
it's also-
Sha.
And I just want to know, like, where are we? Because the stories are there. We have great stories, but sometimes production or the angles, it's just funding is not always there. So
The technical
how
quality.
do we, the technical qualities are not there.
The
What do you
technical
think, I mean, as a veteran also, what do you hope to contribute also to take us to the next level? How do you think we can move?
I think what you'll see in the next 5 years is already it's there. You see certain films and the quality of the technical work is outstanding. The acting is outstanding. And I think that more of that will continue. And I told someone recently, I said our stories, we don't really tell our stories. We talk about relationships and so many other things, but we don't tell our stories as Nigerians. And that if we don't do that, people from outside Oyinbo will come and tell our stories for us.
Yes.
That's why I was so excited when we did the story of Dr. Adadevo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
93 days.
Yes.
That was challenging.
It was, and I've seen a lot of your work. I think that you're far apart from some productions because you do Yoruba and English
yes.
movies, and I've seen so many. You talked about from Out of Bounds, so I will follow the work. You know, so many works that you've done. Do you feel that? I want to just sort of construct Morel's questions that Nollywood must regulate.
It must.
That not every production must be allowed to fly. I don't know. Can they restrict some production, give a standard of what you must have before you can say you're a film producer?
We have standards now. We have grading for films, which shows you what kind of film it is and all that. And also we have, in terms of when you see it on Netflix, you know already that it's a large. It's a huge budget in terms of what we normally shoot. But the truth is, we do need structure in the industry because the way we run the industry now allows for exploitation of people who are not known.
Okay.
You know, there's no regulation in terms of how many hours you can work. You have people working sometimes 24 hours. There's no regulation in terms of children.
Right.
You have children coming on set, 11 p.m., there's still a child. I always have I'm like, this can't happen. It's child abuse. And it's like, oh, you're just being funny. I'm not. If your child is not asleep by 11, a child is working, it's child abuse. Right. They need sleep for their brains to grow. Hello, send them home. Exactly. So we have all those things going on. Also, the pay gap from the Waka Pass to the established actors is huge.
Really wide.
It's huge. Not that the established actors are getting what they need, what they deserve.
Okay, we have to wrap up because we have very few minutes left. So let's talk about politics for a moment.
This is the season.
This is the season. Talk about you want to go the first?
Obviously, we've seen a few actors and actresses pitch their tent. They've said where they are going to. But one of the prominent actors, Funke Akindele, has decided that she's...
Colleagues. One of your colleagues.
One of your colleagues. She's running as a deputy governor for Lagos State. What do you think about that? And where do you lean?
I think more and more people who feel they have a service to give this country need to step up.
Yeah.
Nigeria needs all the help. They need to step up. If you say you can, you should. I'm with the PCC. I'm working for Asiwaju. I'm also with CGI, which is a Connecting Grassroots initiative that was started by MC Oluomo, Musiliu Akonde Akinsoya. And what we're doing is going door to door. Normally, I don't share my politics or what I believe on social media. But because of the way people are attacking others, I said, no, we won't be bullied. Every Nigerian has a right to make a choice. My choice might be different from yours, but it doesn't change the fact that we're both Nigerians.
What are the factors that led you to make your own choice?
First and foremost, Asiwaju builds talent. He finds people who can do things. And look at his cabinet when he was governor. Those are the names we call now. When we want to say, some people say Fashola or Shibanjo. All those people were part of his cabinet. Wale Edu, so many others. And they're the young names, so-called young names that we call in politics now. And they all came from where? From because Asiwaju sourced them and brought them on. Those are the things that we've seen. And he's also supported so many people. Our industry, for one, you don't need to know him to get support. When we lost Moji Olaiya, and she wasn't in the country, he brought her in. He paid for everything. So many actors have received help from him, and he doesn't know them from anywhere. He helps, he builds talents, and I know that when he comes, when we see the people that he's going to work with, we will be excited at the changes that will happen in this country. I know he has a vision for Nigeria. And for me, that's what's key. Where we are in the world right now, if you don't have a vision for the country, you shouldn't try to serve. He has a vision.
Okay, so let me take tweets welcoming you. Kalik Parker says, welcome Bimbo Akintola to your view. You're looking good. I believe more on men provide. Okay, he goes on to
other topics.
I love that you're with the ladies. And he says, there's a slightly bigger partner. I like that. He laughs and says, interesting conversation.
Yeah, go ahead, Tope.
We need to go a bit, let me go a bit personal, permit me.
Please.
The truth is, many relationships within the Nollywood industries suffer. This thing happened, they married, then it breaks up. Very few of them were celebrating every one of them that are able to keep the marriage together. But you, on the other hand, we don't hear anything about your personal life. Are you married? Are you in a relationship? You have kids?
I'm single. I prefer to keep my private life private. I mean, everything else we do is out there. It's like being a fish in a bowl. You go right, people know you. You go left, people. So there's certain things I just want to keep to myself. So one of the things I guard jealously is my private life. Who I'm dating is nobody's business, it's mine. You're not contributing to the relationship, so therefore it's none of your business.
Oh, wow.
So there's another tweet greeting you. Smith Olawale says, iconic Bimbo Akintola in the house. One of the very best acts we have in Africa. The Queen English herself. Bimbo, we love you.
So Andrew Stratham also says, Bimbo Akintola is very eloquent. Where did she school? Did she school in London?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
University of Ibadan.
Tell them.
Graduate from the University of Ibadan, Theatre Arts.
So we have to wrap up. I know that you're like Giacomo. Let me.
Yes, so...
Yeah.
Tell us how has it been on set with the whole team? With the whole crew?
Toye is my baby, and she's so amazing. I love her, and I will constantly support her anyhow I can. I think from her first job that she produced, I was on it, and I've always, over the years, and I always tell her, I said, there's nothing you can't do. There's no limit to what you can achieve, because you have it all. And she does. She does comedy, she can act. She's also a great producer.
True.
So, you know, in the industry, they always like to pit women against each other. And, you know, your name has come in.
Never.
No.
Really?
Yes, you may not know, but we, the
wow.
fans, we know.
Okay.
So it's not really, so I just want to ask in reality. So as you can tell, social media, we talk without knowing the reality. But in reality, what would you say relationships are like amongst female actors?
I have to be truthful with you. There is that little thing of the fact that you're in the spotlight, and some people will come because they want to associate with what you've achieved and not you.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, relationships with people in the industry is the same thing as people in Nigeria. Marriages are collapsing right, left, and center. It's the same thing. It's just that because we're in a little ball, people are saying, oh, this one has left her husband, husband has left this one. But it's happening everywhere in Nigeria. Absolutely. And it's because I think at the end of the day, we need to sit down at the table and talk about what we really expect in marriage.
I have to wrap up because of time, but I think we need to bring you back for political conversation. The reason is because you seem to be one of the few celebrities that are willing to speak and open up your mind confidently on who you've chosen and why you've chosen that person. Because a lot of celebrities they're dodging, or some they're not coming out to say it. But when I find somebody who's ready to speak, I'd like to bring you on to discuss why. Because there's so many questions people have about your candidate, and I feel that they are not saying enough about. Maybe if we hear from you, maybe Nigerians can understand where you're coming from. It's good to have you back.
I'm ready to share.
Great.